Welcome to another episode of Jay Leno's Garage. If you've been to this website before, you know I'm a big GM fan. And this is a car I haven't driven yet, but I'm very excited to drive. This is the 2011 Cadillac CTS-V. Stock, I think it's about, what, 542 horsepower? Well, you can't keep it stock. And if you've been to this website before, as I just said, you know my friend John Hennessey. We go way back. He did my Viper back in '93. Put the 373 gears in it and custom exhaust, a few other things. Well, now he's doing Cadillacs. And this thing has been bumped up from 542 horsepower to 700 horsepower. John, come on in here. How you doing?
Hey, Jay, I'm great. Thanks for having me back.
Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, it's exciting. John was here with the Venom a while back. Remember that? Here, take a look at this crazy thing. Unfortunately, you can't sell the Venom in the States just yet. But this, you can.
Yeah.
And this you can sell in all 50 states. This is what I like. I like the fact that you can get this kind of horsepower and still be compliant. It's not something you have to skirt the rules, right?
Yeah, the Cadillac CTS-V is a great platform to buy for a factory car, 556 horsepower from Cadillac, and they're very easy to modify up to 650, even 700 horsepower.
Is that what they are, 560? I said 540. So it's
556 is what they claim,
oh,
and I think that's a little bit conservative.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah. 556.
Yeah.
Okay, because it's basically a detuned ZR1 motor.
They're
or no?
similar. They're both 6.2 liter
Right.
supercharged motors. This has got a 1.9 liter blower. The ZR1's got a 2.3 liter blower.
Okay.
But they're very similar, and they make power and sound very similar in terms of just an aggressive muscle car sound.
You know, to those of us of a certain generation, you kind of chuckle when you say fast Cadillac, because I grew up in the era of Cadillacs were just your dad's car, or the landlord coming around to pick up the rent. And here comes the Cadillac. You know,
with
that
the
kind of
Brome
stuff.
roof?
The Brome, or the. I remember when I took my dad to look at a Cadillac, the guy said, "You want the regular interior or the interior de elegance?"
D'elegance.
D'elegance. You want the interior de elegance with the tufted upholstery.
Sure.
You know, and just it was like driving a bad living room. You know, it was just awful. But now Cadillac has become a true high-performance automobile. You know, it's interesting. I see. Either when I get a lot of the rappers and stuff, they love the Escalades, and now you know the younger guys are buying the Cadillacs like this with a 6-speed, which is, you know, even the European makes don't make a manual shift for their high-performance models. So that's I think is really exciting. Take us around this car. Well, it's all stock. This is the coupe.
Yep. We call it the coupe de thrill. This has got our V700 engine upgrade package.
Coupe de thrill.
Coupe
is that
de
what you
thrill.
said?
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
So d'elegance.
D'elegance. And the interesting thing is the coupe is just a little bit more aerodynamic than the four-door sedan as well. And I know they would never call it a four-seater Corvette, but to me that's basically what you have here. You have something that's, well, I find the Corvette to be eminently practical. I mean, it's got plenty of storage area and stuff, but this, you can actually put people in the back or kids in the back.
It's got a trunk, you can put golf clubs, you can put your kids in the back.
Well, you can put golf clubs in the back, but if you had this car, you wouldn't play golf because you'd be out tearing up the highway.
Absolutely.
So there's no reason to play golf if you get this with the 6-speed.
So you've got the wider track in the back, and it's the coupe, I think, is a very angular car.
Yeah, very pretty.
Some people really like it, or some people don't like it. I like the car, and
that's what I like too. I like the fact that, you know, for years they were designing cars by committee, kind of like a Camry. I don't know why anybody thinks a Camry is a good-looking car. I don't know anybody thinks it's a bad-looking car. It just looks like a car. It's nice. It doesn't offend anyone, but it doesn't excite anyone. And this is the same sort of idea behind the Viper. When the Viper came out, they designed, this is what it looked like. And some of my friends said, oh, it's too cartoony and goony, I hate it. And other people, oh my God, I love it. Well, you're not going to sell it if people don't like it.
Well, you got guys like Bob Lutz that say, look, you know, maybe 80% of the market doesn't like the look of the car, but we'll take the 20% that does.
That's right, exactly.
And they're going to dare to be different. So,
and of course, here's your V700 right there,
the back.
For 700 horsepower.
And it's got
your little Hennessey deal right here.
And it's got the factory, those are the factory exhaust tips with the factory mounting in the center, and I think it's a real clean, aggressive look to it.
Open the hood, show us what you've done here. You know, the comparable AMG Mercedes would probably run you almost $200,000?
Yeah, like
700 horsepower?
Sure.
So for this is, now the stock Cadillac is what, about 70,000?
About 70 grand.
70 grand.
Right.
So with your package is what?
This package is another 20, so this car as it sits is about $90,000.
90 grand, you get an additional almost 200 horsepower.
Yep.
So what do you, let's
So
see.
it's
I
got the
recognize
larger
this.
air intake with the 4-inch inlet, and it's got a
Okay.
big K&N filter down there, which lets more air into the motor. And then it's got the engine cover kind of covers up a lot of what you'd otherwise see, but you've got a blower pulley here, which will put a little bit smaller pulley and a larger
So it
crank
spins
pulley.
faster.
So it spins faster. So we take the boost from about 9 pounds up to about 13.5 pounds. This is still California smog compliant, runs on 91 octane fuel.
Now, do you go into the motor at all?
We don't go into the internals, but the 700 package has an upgraded camshaft. It has ported heads.
Oh,
it
so
has-
you do change the heads?
Correct. Yeah,
Okay.
we take the factory heads and we modify them. We put
I
better
see.
valve springs. So the factory engines will turn about 6,200 RPM. We've got this one rev limited about 6,600 RPM. So it's got a little bit more
Right, okay.
RPM range on the top end and a bigger area under
And
the
that
curve.
is compliant as well, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's got long tube headers, high flow catalytic converters, and we actually run the factory exhaust system out the back. So driving around the neighborhood,
Yeah.
driving down the highway, it's got a nice sound to it. It's a little bit louder
So
than
this one,
stock.
the heads have been taken off and ported.
Heads are
and
taken
polished.
off and
Oh, very
ported
good.
and
Okay.
polished and
Cool,
upgraded
cool.
valves and springs. And
Okay,
then
now here's something that doesn't look stock to me. What do we have here? This looks like
this is the tank that houses the coolant for the intercooler. So basically the air comes into the air intake, goes through the blower. As it's compressed, it heats up. And so there's an intercooler, there's a heat exchanger that sits underneath the blower between the intake manifold and the blower. And so there's coolant that runs through a radiator, a heat exchanger up
see.
here in the nose. We put
Gotcha.
a larger heat exchanger up here so it cools. The cooler the air going in the motor, the more horsepower you're going to make.
okay, so now we're also suspension is stock.
Suspension stock, I mean, the Cadillac's got what's called an MR suspension, so it magnetically will adjust the
Right.
firmness of the shock as you're going through the turns. And so, you know, the guys at GM spent a lot of time and money developing a really nice chassis they've gone under 8 minutes
Yeah.
at the Nürburgring with.
Is
so.
that the same sort of setup Ferrari has? I think that magnetic
Very
shock, I
similar.
think. Yeah,
Yeah, same
and
one as
these are the
01.
stock brakes. They look massive.
Stock brakes, it's got good Brembos on all four
Yeah,
corners.
yeah,
So, I mean,
yeah.
this car, the essential elements of having a car that you can modify and add more horsepower to, it's got good brakes, it's got good suspension, so we add horsepower.
Right, very nice. Well, it's nicely done. This all looks factory to me. I mean, modern cars, everything is crammed in there so tight, but it's nicely done. Nothing looks like an afterthought. Let's take a look at the interior. Obviously, the interior is all stock, right?
Interior's all stock. This is particular interior's got what we laugh about and call the ShamWow interior package. I wouldn't
Yeah.
really choose the tan to go with the black, but the
Yeah,
interior
it's blonde.
otherwise is very nice.
You got your Hennessey on here.
Yeah.
One of the women I work with said she bought an SUV, and she was furious. The owner had his name stitched all over the car, and she wanted to know how to get it out. And I said, what was the owner's name? She said, Eddie Bauer.
Oh yeah.
I go, no, I don't think Eddie Bauer was the owner. I think that's the Eddie Bauer. And
Right.
She just thought a guy named Eddie Bauer. She bought it on eBay.
That's funny.
She thought a guy named Eddie Bauer had just
Eddie
put his
stayed at
name
the King.
all-
Eddie stayed at the King Ranch.
Right, but just Eddie Bauer. This guy, what an obnoxious guy, puts his
Right.
name all over it. I like the dash, analog clock.
It's got the Alcantara steering wheel. It's got a
Right.
very sporty feel to it.
One thing GM has done over the last couple of years, I think this is Boblet's too, they've gone to this nice stitching,
Yeah.
very European look there. Well, cool. Let's take it out and drive it. Now, this one is the automatic. I know you're getting older now. I know a stick
Yeah.
might be a little too much trouble for you.
Right. My left foot's getting kind of
I
weak.
never thought you'd show up with an automatic. What happened?
You know, this is a customer's car, so you know what can I say?
okay. Oh, it's a
my
customer.
last Cadillac sedan was 700 horsepower.
right.
Had a stick.
All right, all right,
So
all right,
I can put on the big boy pants when I need to.
Okay, very good, very good. Well, let's take this thing for a ride and see how it goes. I'm anxious to try it. You can see this more and more manufacturers doing that, building boutique cars. You get the Brembo brakes, you get the Recaro seats, you know, and that's what they do. Rather than build your own stuff in-house, why not go to the people make the best and use their products? And that seems to work pretty well. Let's see what we got here. Oh, I think some chubby, short-legged guy must have been driving this. Let me put this seat back.
I don't know who that would have been.
Let me see that. See, the Cadillac, you get bong, bong, bong. You ever notice that? You get the Chevy Cruze, it goes. So the nicer the car, the better the bong when the key is in.
There you go.
Let's see what we got here. Got a nice throaty sound to it. Boy, this is a nice car.
It is a nice piece.
Nicely done. Wow, look at those two old guys in a Cadillac. It gets right up.
A
doesn't
little
it?
tire spin, yeah.
Yeah,
We're getting
yeah.
pretty good.
Very nicely laid out dashboard, 200 mile an hour speedometer. This is serial number 7, this one. Huh?
They did a nice job in the automatic. It'll you know, when you're going to downshift, it'll blip the throttle. And
Yeah.
And I find this for an automatic with the paddle, with the buttons, it's pretty responsive.
Well, it's a nice size car. It doesn't feel much bigger than the Corvette, and I guess really it probably isn't size-wise, is it?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the cockpit, it's very comfortable.
Yeah, very
but
comfortable.
you do have a usable back seat and a trunk.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very practical car, and although $90,000 is a lot of money, compared to a European car of the same spec, it's about probably half the price.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like in this package to like having a four-door ZR1. And the guys at Car and Driver, when they tested one of our V700s, they got a same 0 to 150 time as a ZR1.
Boy, it's really fun hearing that supercharger wind up. You know, it's interesting. When I first met John back in '93, the Viper seemed incredible with 400 horsepower because there was nothing else out there. Corvette had 350, and that was the biggest horsepower output of any American car up to that point. Wow, 350 horsepower. I mean, prior to the 60s, you know, with the big blocks. And then suddenly the Viper had 400, and then John started playing with those and doing the rear ends and doing his magic on those. And now you have a Cadillac with 700 horsepower. I mean, it just makes me laugh because, again, I come from that generation when Cadillac was just, well, Cadillac. Hey, get that big boat off the road. Hey, look at that Cadillac. Now it's, with the exception of the Corvette, it's the fastest car GM makes. And this, with the 700 horse, I think would give the ZR1 a real run for its money. Yeah. With kids in the back.
Absolutely.
You know, it's funny, although there's nothing particularly exotic about this motor, gee, it winds up. If you were in this and you didn't know what it was, you'd think you were in some kind of 4-cam European thing. It just revs so quickly and just comes right on. There's no lag. Pretty incredible car. It's again, it's hard to believe it's a Cadillac. Of course, the question is, will it do a burnout?
Yeah, absolutely, we'll do a burnout. We'll go ahead and knock the traction control off and
drop it down a gear. Because the nice thing about a 6-speed is at 70 miles an hour, you're turning about 1900 RPM. So I don't know what the gas mileage is on this car, but I imagine it's not too bad. What is it?
You can get 20 if you drive it like a sane person.
You can get 20 if you're driving like a sane person, which means I'll never get 20. I like the styling of this car. When it first came out, I was a little ambivalent. You know, it makes a strong statement, and it doesn't look like anything else on the road. It doesn't look like a copy of anything European. It looks classically American, very bold styling. Ed Welburn did a good job on this one. I know a lot of people like the 4-door. I gotta go with the coupe. I think the coupe's a very sexy car. Well, this is a customer car, and hopefully he wasn't watching this.
Believe me, he drives it much harder.
So he did. We may have to get him a set of tires. I don't know. But boy, this is an amazing car. And this one here's got over 12,000 miles on it. It's still very tight. Still very handles nicely. Boy, it's very impressive. I'm so glad to see Cadillac becoming a truly European automobile. And this did under 8 seconds on the Nürburgring. I believe
Correct.
It was the fastest sedan. Maybe something's beat it in the last couple of weeks. I have no idea. But, you know, for half the price of a European exotic, you've got probably twice the horsepower. And as you can see, it did a pretty good burnout. Let's take another look at that again. Hey, John, thanks for letting me drive this.
Thanks, Jay. It was a blast.
I'm going to lose John and then sneak out with this thing later. See you later. See you next week.